transformation is quite an expensive exercise. And as a country, we have set ourselves to achieving it, but we have not put budgets to ensure that transformation happens in this. There are things we have achieved, of course, yes, in the past 30 years, but there are things that we still need to achieve. And we rely on women like yourselves to make sure that those spaces are transformed and our budgets are gender sensitive. And I challenge the team in Caltrain always. I'm sorry to be speaking more of rail, because I just learned that rail is the future towards economic development. So your stations are going to be like this. I come in a rush and go out, and still have to drive my car from your station to go home. And there are things that as women do that we are not paid for. And maybe as women in this sector, we must challenge lawmakers that there's unpaid work, community work we are doing. And perhaps you need to look into how do you incentivize us as women who do this community work. And this community work is, we are the ones who give birth to engineers and take care of them all their lives until they get their first degree. There is unpaid work. Some fathers just come, drop the money and leave. Some never bothered to even come to the hospital. And a woman remains with the child to raise that child for the society and for the country. And in us commuting from one place to another, we worry about this child. So first, I don't know whether I'm the only young mother that experienced that, but talking to my friends, when we have a small child and you are working, you are guaranteed that you are going to change your daily 5 to 10 times before he or she turns 1 or 2 years. Because we all want the best for our children. And it's quite difficult when you come back from work and you see your child not in a good condition. And you worry a lot about it. And if it's not that, I know that there are mothers that chose that I'll take them to a daycare center and take them in the morning and collect them in the afternoon. And I said to the team that our stations need to change. It shouldn't be that we enter and move out, but I must be able to rely on this reliable transport that, and where I get it, I'll also be able to buy bread and milk, but also I'll also be able to drop my son or daughter in a daycare facility and come back, collect them, and we go home safe. So we really need to transform transport facilities that we have so that they also accommodate a woman. Just yesterday, we were presented with one of the electric taxis that are to be launched, developed by, I think it's collaboration with the Chinese company. And the person that was presenting it did not expect that I want to be on the driver's seat. And I wanted to experiment on behalf of women minibus drivers. I tell you now, it was not comfortable in that short space of time. One, I couldn't come out easily, but then I imagined myself wearing a stiletto and driving it. And I said, it's not conducive for women who wear heels. I said, no, they don't have to wear heels. And I said, who are you to tell them not to wear heels? No, women drivers, taxi drivers don't wear heels. It's not true. I have women who drive minibus taxis, Caltrain, in partnership with taxi associations in Alexandria. They wear high heels, they wear skirts, pencil skirts, a bit above the knee. And this transport is not accommodating to that. And also the seats. So I looked at that taxi using a gender lens. what is wrong with this taxi to accommodate a woman. So I said the seats, and I don't know what you call it, that platform, the step that we step on, it was for a size 3 of Kunjukunjus who is in crash, but it doesn't allow me in my heel to step on it and step outside. So anytime I can fall, especially if it's raining. But also the seats are not accommodating to young women and elderly women who are in the fourth floor like myself with heavy floors, that sometimes you do not know that it's that time of the month, because the seat the material can absorb your blood immediately, and it means that taxi will not be conducive for another passenger. So I think as women in mobility, as women in the transport sector, we need to start talking, having conversations with engineers. That don't be masculine about it. Use the gender line, the gender lens to design it so that you are able to be comfortable, but also are able to use the mode of transport, especially when it comes to public transport. I was saying, I listened to the first presenter saying we all have the right to wear what we want to wear. And I think we should do a reflection. Can I be an MEC now? I'm sorry. I'm passionate about this. Okay. And I was saying, there's a dress for every occasion. We are socialized that Kirunabo must charm. So the democratic dispensation does not say we must forget who we are and what we seek to achieve. We have a tough job to transform our patriarchal society as Africans. And you are not going to win it when you don't respect the cultures. So it starts in that space where we must teach at home that, and the patriarchal society is perpetuated by women themselves. So we need to first, when we say we're in a democratic dispensation in South Africa and we want liberation of all women across the continent and the world, we need to change the basic unit, which is the family. But there are values and standards of every cultural, and there is no way you're going to speak transformation when you don't respect the culture. So there's a dress for every occasion. Let us not be taken away by the word democracy and freedom. There is no way I will go and want to speak gender equality in a community of Amandebele where there's a king and I arrive wearing a hot pen. They will not listen to you. They will never listen to you. So we need to, as women, as we fight this battle, understand who are we going to be talking to. I know that the women in the taxi industry will tell you how difficult it is in that space. But because we are mothers, we must work on the psychology first and be able to advance the agenda. But when we become confrontational, they will put a barrier, and that's why in some spaces we are unable to win. And I think one of the panelists here raised it that I had to apply 3 times. Still remained in the industry, doing my work and doing it quickly that they couldn't avoid me the 3rd time. And I think it's a challenge and a message to all of us that let's go to best where we are. let's not just use the women ticket that because I'm a woman, I'm victimized. Let's look into first, what is it that I'm not doing right? Or what is it that these people are trying to communicate? But no one has a right to abuse you. You must stand up. And I could relate with someone here saying, female bosses are not the best, especially younger women. I was part of that. I was bullied by a boss, a female boss. It was quite difficult, and people didn't believe me because they felt I'm a strong character. When I cried, they didn't believe that I'm really crying and I feel pain, because they believe you are stronger than this, and no one allowed me space to talk about it, because they said you are stronger, you are better than her, you can do better, stop crying, go fight. But sometimes we want to cry, and for someone to listen to us and say, what is the problem? How is this thing burdening me? So I had to survive or find a way of surviving, and I had to find a way to console myself and find a way to do better alone, because everybody else around me believes that I'm stronger than that, and it's not always the case. I might be strong on this podium, but I'm also very soft and weak inside as an individual. What you see from outside is not what is inside. So I think as we create these platforms, we need to talk to some of the things, but also we need to talk to the developmental agenda as to where does it leave us. So if the strategy is to reduce carbon emissions, what is our role as women? And how do we position ourselves to economically benefit? So I just shared with you some of the strategies that we can use to enter the space but fight and transform, especially the patriarchal circles that we continue to find ourselves in. I'm sorry to speak from the heart, but I don't know how many of you have been here since yesterday. I thought we'll play you a video on the how things operate, but I see Kriya is in a rush. We'll play it while we're in a network. Please just come and say, this is our space. We'll build a lithium battery factory. These are investors. Help us get elect as women of this country, as women of this province, and as women of the continent, because that's how we must approach it. We must fight to be included, especially in the economy. We can't continue crying, but occupy the space. And I hope that the academics that are here are going to help me, because I want to build a childcare center for engineering. So we must start them when they are 2 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you.